G'day Bill as well. I've ordered a new CPU for this here. I got the AMD Feather quad core, highest this thing can support. I was playing the Punisher and this thing, it was flawless. It wasn't shutting down after I turned the Windows. There's a setting in Windows that reduces the usage of the CPU, and I've just turned that down to below 70% and it seems to work. But I was just having this computer doing something just now before I started the video, and it loaded the CPU up past the point where it shut down, so I can't do too much CPU intensive things on this machine. So that's why it shuts down. The CPU is the problem here. So I've ordered it. Actually I found it quite cheap. It was new old stock too, it wasn't refurbished or any second hand stuff. New old stock AMD Phenom 2 quad core, which is the highest this motherboard can support. So that's a pretty good deal. Got a good deal on that, so that'll be going in this thing. This thing will be awesome. Here goes F-Line X2. It's just it just wants to shut down if it gets loaded too hard. It's just crap. I've also put Windows XP Bliss background, desktop background on here. It just looks better. Gives it that Windows XP feel to it now. But I was playing the Punisher on it all day yesterday and it was working flawless. So that's not a very CPU intensive game from 2005. It's the right CPU it would have been from for at the time, which was 2007 anyway. So 2 years newer than the game. But it ran the game fine. Maximum settings too. It didn't seem to complain running a game that old. I actually found a patch to get the Punisher working on Windows 7. I just could not get it working on another than Windows XP. But I'm glad it works on this machine. Proved me wrong. Let that load up. This Windows 10 machine, I decided to put Steam on this and log into my account so I can download my other games onto this actual machine here. It's not too bad. Some games work better than others though, for some reason. Windows 10 is not really oh, I forgot to plug that in. I wonder why. It's getting a bit hot. But yeah, 8800 GT, USB 3 card, the sound card I put in there, the Asus Zonar, Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi dongle in there, just tapped in there, the USB ports to go in there, SSD, 512GB, recapped this cheap power supply, it's pretty reliable now, 550 watt, put good capacitors in that, been flawless now. It's actually quite a nice machine, this. Windows 10 is not the, well, I just use it as a Windows 10 machine. Hasn't been too bad for gaming, but I'm having a lot of issues where some of my Steam games run and some won't. It's just Windows 10, man. It's just not as gamey like Windows 7 or Windows XP is. Speaking of Windows XP, that looks better with this background. Yeah, I just can't load the CPU and that thing up anymore. But this thing is Xeon, it's awesome. I haven't managed to bog this thing down much yet. I obviously can't play Fallout 4 because that GPU is way too old to support it. Only 800 GT till 2007. The Fallout 4 and 3 just won't work on that. It's just two newer GPU intensive games. But the board will support it, the CPU will too. I'll have to plug this bloody fan back in there. I had that sucking up and just pushing some extra air in for this fan, and this is drawing air out because there's extra heat being generated from the GPU. Because it's a Xeon, it gets hot anyway, a server board, it needs an extra fanage. I didn't bother using the original fan from the server and that big thing it had in it with a duct to go to the side because it was just too loud. So this is actually more than adequate. Moves the same amount of air. It cools it down just as much, just quieter. It works quite nice. Got my little card reader and everything in there. I quite like what I've done with this old case from the the year 1999, 2000. I like that old beige. Good old beige case. So finally more beige towers like this. I want to do the same thing, just put good newer hardware in them. Providing the hardware isn't, or if the hardware inside stuffed. Otherwise I'll restore the machine normally. Even that desktop machine, that other one, I might just put one of these motherboards in it. Have a an old school PC on the outside, but modern on the inside. It's quite fun. That's another USB port, but I don't use that one now anymore. Run out of space, I might put something else there. That's just there till I can put something else there eventually. So I wouldn't worry about that. No more USB ports on the board. I need this one, so that's why it's there. I need that one there for the front panel, which is my card reader and everything. Anyway, 8GB of RAM in that thing's awesome. That worked out nicely. But other than the shutdown with that bloody CPU issue, this thing just works flawlessly. I would have can't run hard games on it because the CPU just shuts down. They're just inconvenient. Yeah, pretty crappy these ones apparently. Did some reviews on them. Read some reviews, they're just crappy CPUs. But the quad-core Phantom was a bit better, so hopefully that won't be a problem with this machine. Oh yeah. Let it load. I am using the hard drive out of a DVD recorder. 7200 RPM hard drive. Seems a bit run okay in this. Feels different not having an SSD though. In this machine, the only one that haven't got an SSD in, the rest all do. Looks like I need some updates to I. How come the Punisher didn't start? Damn it. Let's see how we got here. Huh. They said I was up to date before. Anyway. Oh, here we go. The launcher just launched. Probably wait till I was playing that yesterday and I was doing some updates and my game froze up. I couldn't open it again. No, it's installed the graphics driver. Which is all good. Anyway, back to this machine. It's actually turned out quite a nice machine, this. This fan, where did I plug this into? Over here. There's another fan header over here I forgot to plug it into. There we go. Another thing I like about this really old beige case, it's heavy dutyly built. It's nice and thick metal, which is something I really like. The build quality is nice, it's not a flimsy bloody case, it's quite rigid, I like that. You buy a PC case nowadays, when you do your builds, even a generic one especially, like that one here isn't too bad, but it is thin and flimsy. This one, it's just so flimsy, look at that, just twists and rocks. How's that supposed to protect your motherboard? And wrecking your motherboard. That's just too much weakness in that thing. That's what I like about these older machines. Rigid stuff. But yeah, that's worked out nicely. I don't even have to plug anything into that now. That motherboard stays unoccupied. I just plug everything in there. From that extra USB port, just plug my mouse and keyboard in there and that's it. And use it for storage stuff. Yeah, actually worked out to be quite a nice machine. All I gotta do now is put a hard drive in it so I can back the SSD up. I did have, having Windows 10 Enterprise opens up so much more doors for upgrading hardware in this thing. You gotta have Enterprise version of Windows 10 and 64-bit to get the maximum out of your hardware with that. It will support whatever maximum you can maximise out of your hardware. But power supply is actually fixed up quite nicely. Thin heat sinks, but as I said, it's got a big fan in there and it's got more cooling at the case anyway, so it's not a problem. Good old Windows 98 2nd edition case. Anyway, I would have loved to have found a beige DVD drive. I'll keep my eye if I find a beige front DVD burner. That'd be nice. The card reader, you just can't get those in beige unless I paint over that. But now there's all the decal and everything on it. The writing. I don't want to do that. Anyway, that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.